Some whispers do not speak. They vibrate. Across the fractured light of the luminous divide, shards of broken laws drift like glass in slow orbit. A black waveform crawls along those cracks, and when the first harmonic pulse finds a world, motion forgets itself. Streets halt mid-gesture. Voices thin to outlines. The air tastes like erased ink. Emsky arrives on a gray city frozen halfway through a breath. His eyes burn with a dim electric blue. Even his lightning hesitates, as if shy of what it might wake. He reaches a child paused on a step, fingers brushing a shoulder. The spark sputters, then dies to ash that climbs like winter snow. Emsky hears a silence that is not absence but active forgetting. He swears, low and sharp, to fight it. From the quiet, something unfolds. A figure of negative vibration, the harmoniarch. Nixis is a silhouette of missing frames, edges flickering like torn paper. Where a face should be, there is a void that trembles, unreadable and certain. Its voice is not a sound but an erasure, arranging words into holes. It calls the multiverse an error, and moves to correct the mistake. Emsky gathers the last of his light, summoning spirals of jagged electricity. He throws words into the dark and watches them dissolve. Sound and color peel away under Nixis's touch like paint lifted by a blade. Cities fold into flat, smooth emptiness. Thought itself grows quieter, as if thought may soon be taken as well. He stands at the edge of all noise, between the habit of being and the long, patient void. Somewhere inside that silence, a single pulse of resistance begins to hum. Lightning licked the air as Emsky sank to one knee, hands trembling. His power stuttered like a failing star, sigils along his arms sputtering into light. He felt the silence reach for him, a pressure that ate at memory and sound. For a breath he doubted, whispering that the lattice might finally fail. Then something inside him answered. The sigils flared, each glyph clawing back its voice. Emsky rose, a flickering tower of lattice lightning, resolve hardening in bone and breath. He would not yield to oblivion. Not today. The strike that followed was less attack than promise. A ring of reality, anchoring light that tore holes in the silence. Threads of electricity stitching the world back into place. The void hissed. A distant voice warped and split, calling the effort impossible. Emsky grounded himself against the tear, teeth clenched, promising his power would hold. Storm met void in a violent chorus. Frequencies colliding, air buckled and panels warped as two truths wrestled sound and absence. Nixis's words came like knives, claiming his power relied on the fragile weave of reality. Emsky answered without hesitation. He would anchor that weave himself. He thrust both arms forward, lightning braided into geometric lattices, a living framework that hummed with the universe's rhythm. Reality bucked and shimmered. Nixis slid between frames, whispering a terrible revelation. Emsky was not merely a wielder but the multiverse's heartbeat. If he stopped, everything would stop. The weight of that knowledge pressed like winter. Emsky planted his feet, cracked the void beneath, and chose to keep beating. Light flooded outward, a defiant blast that pushed the silence back, scattering shards of anti-vibration like glass. He stood, lattice crackling, and declared not domination but duty. He did not bend reality. He held it together. His pulse kept time with everything alive. Emsky steps through a rift of white and black, lightning trailing like comet tails. He travels into a place without time or distance, the pre-dawn realm, where storms are born. To learn why he is the heartbeat, he must find the first storm. Weightless, he floats with narrow eyes, feeling the silence before the first thunder. The horizon bends like liquid glass. Winds that have no direction sculpt the air. Lightning flickers into lines, and the world hums. From that hum, a shape assembles pure lightning intelligence, a shifting lattice of blue-white veins that speaks in crackling syllables. Child of spark, returned, it intones. Emsky braces against the recognition and answers, I'm not your child. Start talking. When he demands truth, more titans awaken, mountain-sized but airy forms of wind and chaos, whirls of vapor and jagged dark. They tell him plainly, we made the first storm, and through it, we made you. Lightning licks along Emsky's arms, as if agreeing and as if afraid. A vision unfolds, not of other lives but of echoes, dozens of Emsky silhouettes flickering across impossible skies. tiny anchors in many fragile realities. The proto-beings explain that he is not an alternate self, not a rogue branching, but the first multiversal anchor, a stabilizer cast across reality to hold storms to their courses. He hears it and feels it. Purpose and exile braided together. So I was never even meant to be a person, he whispers, a confession and a mourning. Still, the storm that birthed him waits, an answer not yet finished. And Emsky realizes finding the first thunder will mean choosing what kind of heartbeat he will be. They came like a verdict from a sky ripped of mercy. The proto-storms loomed, coils of charged shadow and silver lightning knitting the air. Their voices cracked across the firmament. You awakened prematurely. Another thunder answered. Reality falters because of you. Emsky stood rooted, wind carving his coat. He lifted his chin. No, he said, voice steady. Reality falters because you keep trying to control it. The storms answered with a single, shuddering blast, a black sun of sound and light that tore at the edges of everything. For a moment the world was only pressure and light, a cathedral of electric pain. Inside that blast, Emsky did not break. He burned, and the fire traced the map of his resolve. Lightning braided through his skin like threads of fracture, weaving outward into the air, unraveling expectations. Pain sharpened into choice. I won't be what you made me, he cried, the words a declaration and a challenge. I'll be my own storm. Reality recoiled at the shape of his will. Geometry reassembled itself around him. He erupted into a new form, prime lattice mode, angles of pulsing lightning and crystalline glyphs orbiting his frame. Waves of storm code rippled away like a tide. A storm that no one controls. Not even the creators of storms, the air seemed to say. Emsky felt new mechanics beneath his bones, doors of possibility swinging open. Prime lattice markings glowed along his limbs, and the air bowed. Lightning gathered at his feet into a clean, humming displacement circle. He leaned forward, focused, and stepped. No tear, no echo. Just pure, precise motion across universes. He didn't step through a door. He slipped the seams of reality. One moment in a city, the next, a meadow beneath his boots, tall grasses bowing outward, as if a heartbeat had pushed through the world. No arrival, only the echo of displacement folded into soil. No travel, no aftershock, no broken timeline to trace. He breathed 100 universes at once, each a pressure point behind his eyes. Prime Lattice wasn't a map of paths but a web of lives. To touch one was to feel them all. He closed his eyes and felt the weight, the urge to protect, the fear of snapping a thread. I can hold them, he thought. I can hold every world without breaking a single one. The sky tore open like paper. Light became storm. The Stormfather descended, a cyclone swallowing constellations, a god of thunder, voice like a collapsing planet. You defy the first design. Emsky stepped forward. Lightning braided the air around him. And you forget, he said steady. I never agreed to it. He reached past armor and thunder and found the heart core, a rotating orb of raw, primordial electricity. He drove his hand into that blinding center. Reality shivered. The Stormfather roared. Something tore free. Emsky drew a piece of that storm into himself with a sound like snapping glass. I am rewriting my own storm, he whispered, the new power humming inside him clean and precise. Dawn split. Fractures of light scored the sky. From the edge, a dark waveform bled in, cold and articulate. The void harmonics commenced their final silencing, a voice intoned. Emsky's eyes opened. He folded the lattices, tuned the new gate, and vanished.
Emsky.